I certainly don't understand this expansive rabbit hole of love that we are all existing in and navigating our life through. Because every time I think I understand it, I go a little deeper into that rabbit hole and realize I really didn't understand it completely. The example I'm thinking of at the moment is the death of my grandson. Now, when my daughter lost her son, I don't think that I could have ever, in any way, shape, or form, believed I would ever look back on the experience with love in the way that I do now. I don't think I would have seen it as love. I don't think that I could have seen it as a gift. As a matter of fact, I did everything to transcend the event, and I was present at it. It is a transition. It's not the end of life. It's the end of this form. And I don't want to say that in any way that doesn't give it the respect and reverence it deserves, because the end of this form is an amazing thing to witness, and it does certainly take you to your knees. We do have veils between the physical and the non-physical that are placed for very good reason. And I don't certainly claim to understand them all, but I know that they exist. And I have been privileged enough in my life to have seen through the veils a couple of times. We have been taught, conditioned, had it drummed into us a certain experience of God. And it comes from our parents, it comes from the media, it comes from church, it comes from whatever religion we have chosen to participate in. And those same people, and the people who condition that, who are conditioned themselves, by the way, are taught to fear the non-physical, and are taught, they even fear the God they worship, which is another subject altogether. If every single creation is from God, then what is unholy? What is it that we have the right to call unholy? And there are many children who see the non-physical, express it, and what are they told to do? Oh, that's your imagination. Oh, stop that. That's not true. Or that's bad. Those are bad spirits. Spirits don't talk to you. Whatever it is that we have been conditioned to believe, and it all depends on the background of those, the conditioning of those who are explaining these things to us. We don't get the opportunity early on in our life to let the universe explain itself to us, do we? We have it explained to us by people who have experienced this universe through fear, anger, frustration, some love, sometimes lots of love. But we're still being filled with the experiences of those who have been conditioned themselves. They haven't experienced the universe. I don't believe in God the way that I was taught to believe in God by any stretch of the imagination. And when you look at, I was raised to be Christian and chose a Christian faith to move in my youth, that I moved into and raised my family in. What's interesting about that, when we look at the world and the shape that it's in, and that killing is absolutely something that we're all horrified at, but yet we're participating in. We're a big part of this. The collective is a big part of what the collective is screaming about right now. But it's also interesting that we worship a God who rampantly killed, and rampantly killed for jealousy, vengeance, all the things that, as we learn what love is, we quickly discard. We discard the jealousy, we discard the vengeance, we discard the hatred for being different. We now celebrate them. Now, when you start to think that there are righteous sacrifices in that way, it's very interesting, because all of a sudden, maybe war makes a little more sense to you. The key to changing all of this, in my humble opinion, is to change ourselves and our own hearts. We're really fighting a losing battle. So as all these battles all over the planet are rising And you're rooting on these countries and these people who have been so oppressed. But in a way, that awareness is on the journey to an awakening. And the awakening is really understanding that the change and the awakening must happen in the individual first. Well, I think what you said before, I'm going to completely agree with. I think that we are as God as it gets. And that's not saying that I don't believe that there is, in this vast consciousness and universe, that there is not something divinely intelligent. I do. But that lives inside each and every one of us. That divine being. You're as divine as I am. The homeless person on the street is as divine as I am. And when we understand that even those who are making stands for something that we totally disagree with, we don't agree with that stand. It goes against our sense of alignment with what we've learned to be true. If we understand that this is just another divine being acting out his particular soul journey, and whether he gets it or not, or whether it's the right or the wrong thing to do, because I believe there is no right or wrong thing to do, when we have that type of respect for the individuals that we share this beautiful planet with, it becomes a much nicer place. I think that there are powers that, and this is where I don't really understand what it is or how it works, but I think, and I've seen it, I've felt it myself, there are powers and forces that assist us, that we are not only changing ourselves, but the actual outside world begins to change, because every single thing that's in front of your eyes is an indication of your level of consciousness. So as we clean this lens that we're looking at the world through, and as we rise in consciousness, the world has no choice, in my opinion, from what I've seen and experienced, but to reflect that.